So we have ordinary classes. In ordinary classes, we are going to be mention some data types. The data types we have with variables to store the values normally. But here we have a generic class. Here we are mentioning that particular class, which type of values or which type of object should hold. That information also we are going to be mentioned while we are creating the class itself. So that is the simple meaning. Here T stands for type. Which type are you going to be used for this box class? That we are going to be mentioned while we are writing the code itself. So as you can see, all occurrences of objects are replaced by T. A type variable can be any non-primitive type you specify. What is this non-primitive? Where you come across this word non-primitive?
Data type,
Can
sir.
anyone?
Second type, sir.
Which is not
Data type we have two types. Data
Primitive
types
and
we have two types. One is a non-primitive. In primitive we have the basic data types. What are the basic? Int, float, double we are going to get. Yes or no?
yes, sir.
In other, in non-primitive we are going to be get array, string.
class.
Another one. This class, the Java class. So in general, we are talking about C. We don't have a concept of hooks concept. That's only we don't have a class over there. Once we were learned Java, the data types were divided in the non-primitive type. We are going to be get a class also. Okay. So here we can specify the class type and any interface type, any array type. So what is these non-primitives means? In non-primitives, you are not going to be holding one value. For example, you can take a primitive data types, int. For example, you are going to be int a, we are going to be hold one value. Float a, double a, or chars c, whatever it, we are going to be hold a one value. Here we are going to be hold the multiple values. It may be a same data type or a different data type, even a structure also we can define here. So it's the same data type or a different data types also. So for this, so while we are creating a class itself, that class, what type of value should hold, that information we need to specify the starting itself. The starting is nothing but while we are going to be create the class itself. So that is the simple. The same technique can be applied to create a generic interfaces also. What is interface? What is interface? Where you heard this word interface?
In Java.
In Java, interface are there. What is the simple meaning of interface? Why we are going to be using
multiple
interface?
inheritance.
Simple called interface where we are going to be connected. What is inheritance? We are going to be getting properties from a base class. A child class get in properties from a base class. Whatever it means, we are going to be get some properties from the already created class. That is, a child class may get the properties from the parents class. Like this, we have some interfaces like that. So same way here also. Then type parameter naming conversions. So here we have some naming conventions. What is naming conventions? For example, your is there, but we are still asking to use your register number. For example, or else your big name is there. Instead of calling the big name, simply they are going to be called. For example, uh, instead of calling me, somebody is called BDS or somebody called Challas or somebody called whatever it means, CHY, something. We are going to be give a different name to a already giving existing name. So here that is the meaning of by naming conversion, the type parameters names are a single uppercase letter. This stands the sharp contrast to the variable naming convention that you already know about with good reason. Without these conventions, it would be difficult to tell the difference between the type variable and the ordinary class interface. So what is the meaning of this one? See, these most commonly used parameter names are E stands for element, and K stands for key, and N stands for number, and T stands for type. So this is in the previous box class example also. In a box there is a diamond symbol, that is the angular braces. In between we are going to be use a T. That is the T means which type of data type we are going to be using there. So that is a simple, we are going to be give a naming convention T. The V is a value. So in the values we may use another second value or third value or fourth type of value. For similarly, we are going to be use S, U, and T. So these are the naming conventions. So you will see these naming are using taught the Java SE standard edition. What is API? Why we are using API standard Java? What is the meaning called API? Application programming interface. Again, the concept of interface we are going to do. Once the concept of interface will come, we will see all those things. That's one. So invoking and instantiation a generic type. What we are going to be invoking? So to replace this generic box class from within your code, you must perform a generic type invocation which replace the T with some concentrate values such as integer. So which T is some concentrate value such as integer. So in a previous example we said no, the box we have in between we have a T. The T transfer here, then we are mentioning the type. The type is an integer. That integer mentioned, the box can contain only the values of, that is objects of only integers. You can think of a generic type invocation as being similar to an ordinary method invocation. What is this method invocation? You know the meaning of invocation. So we have this ordinary method invocation. Have you heard the word of remote method invocation? Remote method invocation. So where we have client server concept, that will be. What is the client server concept? What is the concept of client server? What are their roles? The client is requesting to a server. The server is responding. How the server is going to be respond? That we need to mention. The client is requesting to a server. The server is responding based upon client request. Something send and request options are going to be interchanging. So the server is responding based upon the client request only. For example, why are these remote means? For example, we have a Google now. We have a different Googles are there. Only one Google is there. Only one Google server is there. But the clients are different now. When the clients are different, the clients are requesting only one server at a time in a remotely. What is remote? Not in all are sitting in one place and they are not going to be accessing. They are sitting their own places and they are going to be access this Google and they are going to be using. If it is like this, then how the server is going to be responding? For example, if I am searching for big data, somebody searching for cloud computing, somebody searching for data mining. So whoever, for example, if I am searching big data, whether it gives in a cloud computing result. No. So that is the meaning called invocations comes into a picture where it is going to be respond based upon the requests. So what the, for example, here again the called invocation. For example, a particular child is going to be get the properties of a parent or a grandparent in this way. So there is a relationship between these three. So father, grandfather, and child. So something methods will be follows in between this. So that is. You can think a generic type invocation as being a similar to an ordinary method invocation, but instead of passing an argument to a method, we are passing the type argument. Simply, previously we were creating a class simply without any generics. Here the generic means we are going to be say that that particular class, what type of values we are going to be inserted into that class, that we are going to be clearly mentioning. So that is, you are passing the type argument, for example, integer in this case, to the box class itself. So while we are going to be create the class, that itself we are going to be mentioning this. So here one important thing is type parameters and type arguments. Have you heard the words these arguments and parameters? Generally, we were talking about these arguments and parameters. Similarly, we can talk. We may say the arguments. We may say the parameters also. We can say that. Where we can say this one. Functions we have now. Remember the functions are methods, whatever it in Java. So in brackets, we are going to be mention something int a or b. For example, int add of a comma b. So what is here int a and int b? Int a and int b are parameters we are going to be passed to the particular method or function. What will be happen if I'm going to be passed? So that method or function is going to be take that values and perform some that method definition what we did. The function definition what we did. It is going to be perform operation and it may return and may not return. Based upon it the type of return type of the method, it may return or may not return. In generally, function to all, how many values it will return? The function or method, how many values it will return? How many values it will return?
Single values.
It returns only one value at a time. One value at a time. So can anyone say that why it is returning only one value? So you know the concept of C, C++, Java also you can compute it. Can anyone say that why it is written only one value? For example, if I ask all of you, only one only respond. Why again? For example, if I ask multiple questions at the same time, which question are you going to be answer the multiple answers at the same time? No. If I am defining a multiple works to a same function or a same method, that person, that method, that function, that person can do only one work at a time. Even it is going to be perform all the works, but at a time he can do only one operation. For example, we have an expression C equal to A plus B plus D plus F. If I am giving a value to the variables, is that all the addition is going to be performed at a time? Generally, we how we will do? For example, a equal to 2 and b equal to 3, and d equal to 4 and f equal to 5. How it will be? Are you going to be all there? No. First 2 and 3. Okay, 2 plus 3, 5. Again 5 plus 4, 9. 9 plus 5, 14. We are going to be do the simultaneous operations. We cannot do perform all the same simple concept we were implemented in a function itself. Function is what? What is the simple meaning of function? The work is going to be performed in one place. Here also, the total definition of that function is going to be performed in one place. Once that function, that work is completed, something work back. That is, that answer is going to be written. That is the simple meaning of. Here, generally, we were called about these are these type parameters and type arguments terminologies. Many developers use these terms type parameters and type arguments interchangeably, but these terms not the same. When coding, one provides the type arguments in order to create a type, create a parameterized types. So one thing we are going to be the same as. Have you remember the concept of what is actual parameters and formal parameters? The same thing. Even though both are a parameter, sometimes it is called an actual parameter, sometimes it is called a formal parameter. Have you heard the words? Can someone respond? Have you heard the words, or else I will give a simple
Yes, sir.
one-line explanation. Okay, thank you. So, what is like any other variable declaration? This code does not actually create a new box object. It simply declares integer box will hold the reference a box integer, which is how the box integer is written, how it will be written. An invocation of generic type is generally known as parameterized type. So that parameter is nothing but here we are mentioning that in between angular braces, the type which we are going to be mentioned, that is a parameterized type. To instantiate this class, use the new keyword. Generally, we know how to create an object in Java by using a new keyword. So same here also. Here, what is this integer capital B box? Integer capital B box. And what is box? Here the box is a class and integer box is an object. We are going to be create an object for the box class. So that is everything we know. In previous we don't have this one. We don't have any integer. But here we are going to be right. So generally we can ask, sir, we can call only one integer. If it is like this, generally we can use one particular array or one particular string to complete this sentence. Why we are going to be use these generics again? Not only we can define one particular type of parameterized, we can use various types we can include in this also. How it will be see that? You can also substitute type parameters. What is k here? K is a key and rv is a value. So how we are going to be write? Within a parameterized type, the list string. For example, you see the ordered pair k comma b. Example, ordered pair is in a class. Inside the parameterized type, generally we are going to be use the types. In a previous we said in a above line itself, see that we have a box integer is there. But here we see that a string comma box another angular braces we are going to be mentioned integer. What is the meaning? Here the order pair is a class which contains again the two things. What is the thing? maybe it contains one more inside the class, inside another class, that is known as a box. For example, here the box is a child class, the ordered pair is a parent class. So if I am going to be mentioned like this, the same way where we are going to be, so how to create an object for a class, so that is class name space object name is equal to new class. Same here also, see that p equal to new, then order pair and primes. So here we are going to be, the say the string is a primes, and we are going to be, so prime numbers are what? Again, it will conclude in a integers or characters. Prime numbers also conclude only integer values. So that's why only. So again, we are going to be write it. So what type of integers we are declaring? For example, here the prime members are going to be mentioned in the ordered pair class. We are giving something headings to the values by using this also. So this is a invocating of generic types. So here we have generic, we are going to be talking about. Then methods means was, it's like a functions in C. Here we are going to be in Java, we are going to be called methods. Generic methods are those methods that are written within a single method declaration and can be called with arguments of different types. The compiler will ensure the correctness of whatever the type is used. Whatever the type is used. So see that we have some of the properties are there for generic methods. Generic methods have the type parameters that we are going to be mentioning in diamonds. If they are not diamond operators, we can simply call the arguments. That is the angular braces we can call them. That is, we can call here as a diamond operators and close the type before returning the return type of the method declaration, where we are going to be written. Before that itself, we are going to be write these parameters, type parameters. Type parameters can be bounded. Yes. So not only we are going to be using the parameters, not only a single. In the previous example, we have a key and value also there. No? So bounded explain later article, that is. Then generic methods can have a different types of parameters separated by commas in the method signature. And method body for the generic methods is just like in a normal method. So it is going to be accept the normal type only values. But the thing is, where we are going to be declare, that time itself we are going to be mentioned the type which the class is contained. See that? So up to this we have the concept of generic methods and generic classes. Then how, so these generic classes, sir, up to now you said that, but we have something clear. So that's why I have one program. So how these generics will be explained. So I will show through the online compiler. Whether my screen is visible to everyone?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So it is refreshing the code gone. So I will send you the code. You will use these tutorial points. We have a coding ground is there. I will send you code through your Google Classroom. You can open this code coding ground in online itself. We can run that code. You will know that what is the difference between generic classes and normal classes. What is the type? I will tell you. Wait a second.
సార్ ఉన్నారా?
ఉన్నామ్మా ఒక్క నిమిషం. Searching for the code to show you how it is. మీరు ఆఫ్ చేయండి అమ్మా. మీ వాయిస్ Okay, I will send you that code through your Google Classroom. Same, you can try it because it is loading. So what is the difference between general and normal? So see here we have, I think screen is visible to everyone. So generic type T we are going to be mentioned. So see that I am going to be execute this one. So we have one T, private T. So the T we were mentioned, what type of object we are going to be mentioned there. So we are going to be mentioned generic type. So it will take only the type is strings only. So if we mention some values, it is going to be false. So I will send you code, don't worry, you will check through this once we have clear the concept. Okay. Now we are going to be see the next another concept is about wrapper classes. What is this wrapper classes? What is the meaning called wrapper classes? Generic type we are going to be say that we are going to be writing a methods per class. The time of creating a class itself we are going to be mention what is the type of that object. We are going to be mention the type of objects. Screen is visible?
Sir.
Okay.
Okay, 1 minute, guys. Chala, sir.
Sir,
Chala.
we can take an attendance.
Okay, absentees are 25, 28, 29, 36, 43, 52, 80, 95. Clear? Chala, sorry, continue.
Okay, sir. So this is the wrapper classes. So what is this wrapper classes? The wrapper classes in Java provide the mechanism to convert a primitive into object and object into primitive. What is this objects and primitives into objects means what? What is the general primitive type means? So we know that the integer, the basic data types are there. No? That data we are going to be converted into objects we are going to be. The simple concept, this one. Have you come across this encryption and decryption? No? What is the concept of encryption and decryption? We are going to be convert our plain text to ciphertext, then ciphertext to plain text. That is the concept. Same here also, we are going to be convert primitives into an object and object into a primitive. Why we want to convert? Since J2SC 5.0, the concept of that encryption and decryption in a wrapper classes, we are going to be said that auto boxing and unboxing. Features are converting primitives into an object and object into a primitives automatically. The automatic conversion of primitives into an object is known as autoboxing and vice versa. So that conversion, so example, simply we have an encryption. No? A plain text to ciphertext is an encryption and ciphertext to plain text is an decryption. Same we have here, primitives into an object and object into a primitives. So one thing, object primitives into an object is going to be called as an autoboxing and another one is about unboxing. So what is the use of these wrapper classes in Java? So the Java is an object-oriented programming language. What is this object-oriented programming language? Why it is called an object? Anyone? Why Java is called an object-oriented programming language? And also we can say that the purely object-oriented programming. Because we have C++ also there and Java also there. We compare both. So C++ is not a pure object-oriented program, but Java is a pure object-oriented program. Why? Anyone?
Everything in Java is a class.
No. Everything is Java in a class. It's similar to that, but here we cannot run program without class. The class is an object-oriented concept, no? So that's why only we can create an object class, then only we can execute or compile a Java program. Why? How to run a Java program? How to compile a Java program?
By using the main class.
Main class name dot Java. Please be remember that class name dot Java. So class, what is the class? Class is the one of the main concern in the object-oriented programming. But in C++, we can do what? We can give any name .cpp, we can run the program also. So we can include concepts over there and we can do it all those things. But here we can create a class, then only we can run or compile Java program. So same here, I think you know that the collection, serialization and synchronization. In the part of syllabus, we are going to be talk serialization in the upcoming slides. So let us see some different scenarios where we can use these wrapper classes. Changing the values in a method. Changing the values in a method. This is a very, very important concept. wherever in C, C++, Java, all those things. What is this call by value and call by reference? Just name check. I'm saying the call by value is automatically call by reference. What is this call by value and call by reference?
In call by
Well,
value of the copies of the value are passed to the main function, sir. In reference,
in reference, we are
in
not
call,
going to be. The simple we have, generally we are going to be talk about this. So in call by value, the value is going to be interchange, but original values in the same place itself. So where we are going to be deal with the concept with the swapping concept. For example, A and B having a values, and M and N are the values we are going to be used for swap A and B. After swapping, M and N contains the different values as a similar A and B is going to be interchanged by M and N. But after swapping, the first values, the A and B, what the values are there, the same values in the same place. This that operation call by values is going to be done. That original values never change. So it will just use for an operation, but not going to be change in the basic. That is in general primitive. That basic it is never changed. But in call by reference, once we done changing, that is swapping, automatically it will change the original values also. The original places also the values are going to be changed. That you know very well. If you need, you can request. I will send you the programs also with a clear explanation there. So it will not change the original values, but it will convert the primitive types. So that is the meaning. See this? It will not change the original values, but it converts the primitive values in an object. It will change the original values. So the concept of serialization, this is again, we are going to be perform some streams. What is the streams? In C++, we have a stream classes, no? Stream. So that is input, output stream. Input stream and output stream we are going to be talking. That is a simple concept here. We need to convert the object into a streams. In our wrapper classes, we are going to be perform. So primitives into an object and object into a primitives. Here in a serialization, we are going to be convert the objects into streams to perform the serialization. If we want the primitive values, we can convert the objects through the wrapper classes. So to perform these serialization, we need a background concept of wrapper classes. So what is the use of these wrapper classes? Again, the synchronization. What is the synchronization? Java synchronization works with an object with multi-thread. What is the concept of thread and multi-thread? What is in a thread? What is in a multi-thread? A thread is a single execution. We can call a single execution. So what is multi-threading? So in one place we can perform a multi-execution, multi-programming execution or multi-application execution at the same time. With different objects or the same objects also. So whatever if we are going to be perform something operation on methods or functions, if we have the same values also, but our result is only one value returns at a time. So that's only we can do. Then these wrapper classes are in Java util package. So we have a packages are in Java. So these wrapper classes are we need to use in Java. We need to use in a package java.util package. The collection frameworks. What is the framework again? Java collection frameworks works with objects only. All classes of the collection framework like array list, linked list, vector, hash set, linked list, linked hash set, tree set, and priority queue and array DQ, etc. All those things are deals with objects only. We are not going to be talking about the primitives. We are going to be talking about non-primitives. These are the array list. We have a group of elements. Linked list. We have a group of elements with a link. Vectors, hash sets. We already come up as a hash table, no? Same hash sets. And linked list hash set, 3 set. What is a linked hash set? I already touched that one, but how many of them understand? I don't know. What is this linked hash set? How we are going to be confirm that particular value into a array list by using hash function? How we are going to be calculate the hash function? So when we have a number of ASCII codes are there to total, then the size of that array we are going to be divide, then the remainder. There I said, sir, we are going to be get a different reminders. Okay, we can set that values in a different array indexes. Once we got the same index, so that is once we got the same reminder for the different values, but that is different strings. So what we are going to be doing? So that is the concept of linked list. So how many values with the same reminder value, that is the same index numbers, all those are we are going to be connected with the same index, we are going to be writing there. So that is a linked hash set and tree set and priority queues and all those deals with only object. Wherever we are going to be deal with the objects, there we are going to be use wrapper classes. So what is a primitive type and how we are going to be using a wrapper classes? The simple nothing but we are changing the first letter into a capital letter. The types we are going to be using wrapper classes. The primitive is a boolean and the same. Just I need to mention, that's why I mentioned there is nothing hiding here. So simply we are going to be use a normal variables. So lowercase we are going to be used now. So that is the first letter is going to be changed to capital letter. So what is this auto boxing? Auto boxing. So the wrapper classes is known as converting from primitive to objects and object to primitives. So one concept is known as auto boxing and another concept is known as unboxing. The automatic conversion of primitive data type into its corresponding wrapper classes is known as auto boxing. For example, byte to byte, char to char. So these the byte is a primitive one and capital B byte is the wrapper one. So we are going to be convert a primitive to objects. So character to integer and similar to all, double to double and short to short. Since Java 5, we don't need to use the value of. So this is a one function like a method, value of method. We are not going to be use up to now. These wrapper classes implementation, we are going to be use this method. So for that, converting primitives into an object, we are going to be use this value. So how it will be? See this, we have one small program. So public class name is wrapper example1, and the public static void main, that is the main we are going to be used where we have a first class we are going to be using. So here we are declaring a primitives. So again, what is a primitives means? The basic data types, that is int a equal to 20 we were declared. That small int, that normal primitives, I am going to be converted into objects. That is, we are going to be converted into a wrapper. So I already said that we have a value of function, that is method. We are going to be convert the value into an object. So this is converting a int into integer explicitly. What is the meaning called explicitly and implicitly? Implicit conversion is nothing but the compiler, the programmer, there is no hand of programmer. It is automatically done by the compiler. The explicit concept is the programmer has to write a code for the conversion. Programmer has to write a code for conversion. It's known as explicitly. So explicitly we are going to be write this one. Then once after this writing, see that capital integer j equal to a. So we have already value of a is this one. By using some value of method, I'm going to be convert this value into I. That is, we are moving value into I. Now the a contains 20. Again, integer j, I'm going to be assigned to another one. So this is auto boxing, whether compiler will create a value automatically. So here we are not going to be write any code for conversion. This is the conversion. That's only we are called explicitly. Here we are not going to be used. So this is the known as wrapper classes. In all those cases, a value, I value, and j value are 20. So if the conversion can done by the programmer, that is known as explicitly. The conversion done by the compiler itself is known as implicitly. Okay, our wrapper classes is going to be performed by implicitly. That is the concept known as auto. So primitive wrapper classes are immutable in Java. What is the concept of immutable? So we will discuss by tomorrow. So please remember that immutable objects. Simple, nothing but. What is the meaning called static? Have you heard the word static? What is the meaning called static? So that is the simple. Once the program is creating, we mentioned particular variables as an static, which never change. Static, it is not going to be changed by the other variables, because these variables are going to be used in expression. Once it is going to be changed also, once we are going to be print at the last, that what we were previously declared, that values only will be available. It's not going to be changed anything. Okay.